minutes to 20 past 6. There's huge demand for rental properties all over the UK at the moment, which is good news for criminals who are said to be cashing in by tricking people into paying money up front to rent properties that just don't exist or they don't own. Our reporter Vicky Carter has been looking into this. Morning, Vicky. So what are we talking about? What exactly is rental fraud? Is it a kind of range of things?
Morning. Yes, exactly that. Essentially, people are being tricked into paying money up front to rent a property, like you said, that doesn't exist, they don't own, or is already rented. And scammers are effectively posing as landlords, agents on social media, asking for holding fees, deposits. And the thing is, it's not that uncommon for legit letting agents or landlords to ask for this, especially given how high demand is with the rental market at the moment. So when someone asks for one, you don't normally question it, but these individuals aren't genuine. Last month alone, there was over £1 million worth of reported losses of rental fraud, the highest since January 2020, and it's on the rise. It's really common. Actually, someone even tried to scam me when I was looking for a property.
Oh, what happened to you?
Yeah. So I recently moved to Manchester and I turned to Facebook as well because I knew that the high demand and the state of the rental market. And a woman reached out to me who asked to pay for a holding fee just after sending me screenshots of pictures and a postcode. And there was no look at the contract, there was no viewing, and that raised alarm bells for me, and that's when I started digging into it. And now, according to Action Fraud, those in their 20s are the prime targets for this fraud, all of which happens online. But the scam isn't new, but what makes the scam so successful is the current situation the fraudsters are working in. Demand is so high, people are feeling stressed, you might have moved country or city, or you've started a new job, and you're often competing against others for a room, as if sometimes like a dating app, you upload a picture and you write your interests and what you're looking for in a housemate, and then you get pulled into these bidding wars, and fraudsters are exploiting that desperation.
So how does it work then?
Well, it's all happening on social media and they're really smart and manipulative. So they know who to target and how, what to say. I've heard reports of fraudsters calling for references at workplaces, drawing up fake contracts, also going to the lengths of calling individuals who have fallen for the scam and reassuring them that it isn't a scam. And we'll hear more of the fraudsters' behaviour in the next few minutes with people who have experienced it. But it's becoming more and more difficult to distinguish who is genuine and who isn't. Luke Wathies from Manchester, the third highest area for rental fraud crimes in the UK. And Luke was laid off during COVID, which meant a few bills didn't get paid. A bad credit score meant he wasn't getting anywhere with letting agents, and so he turned to Facebook. There, he was contacted by a woman who said she had a property for rent. It looked good on paper, on the face of it, everything looked great. But she asked for a month's rent up front, a month's deposit and a holding deposit of £250, which in total was over £2,000. But when she started to make excuses about why he couldn't view the property, he did some digging of his own.
I did a bit of Googling on it, and apparently there's like a land register message just saying, look, I need your details just to check the land register, just to check you own the property. And then she just didn't come back to me after that. Then I put a post up in the Facebook group sharing a profile, just saying, watch out for this particular woman. And a few people got in touch, mentioning that they nearly transferred her a couple of £1,000. She was going around the houses, all different kinds of stories to different people. It's kind of exploiting people's vulnerability. When people are getting offered a perfect property that they want and they can afford and things like that, and then they pay that money out, and it's quite upsetting, really, that people are exploiting that.
As Luke mentioned there, it's all different realms of Facebook groups, Facebook accounts, Facebook Marketplace. And he did report it to Facebook, who said they would look into it, and he's still waiting to hear back from them. Another example of someone who's been scammed, who I've spoken to, was Sarah Kenny. She was scammed out of more than £700 looking for a flat in Bristol.
We had some back and forth conversation, maybe like 10 messages, where he explained the steps of how it will go. He said that he's got maybe 35 other people interested at the moment. So of course that put me under pressure. And I did have doubts at times. I asked him about, can I have a LinkedIn profile belonging to him, or could he tell me his website? He called me and he really made me feel guilty for prying and getting me to prove that he was a real person. And then immediately I was like, oh, no, no, sorry. I was just making sure. I hope I didn't offend you. And he was like, no, it's okay. Like, I just want you to feel secure. The fact that he called me so much, that was the part that manipulated me the most, like made me believe it was real.
Meta, the company that owns Facebook, told us they invest heavily to remove scammers from their platforms, that people should report it when it happens so they can take action, and that they work with Stop Scams UK to help victims and remove scams at the source.
Any tips for those who are looking for a property and obviously want to avoid this happening to them?
Of course, well, it's such a stressful experience. I've actually experienced it many times moving. And always trust your gut. If it feels too good to be true, it probably is. Go to verified sources like letting agents and people that you trust, and always make sure you've viewed a property before agreeing to transfer any money. And most important, don't feel pressured into making a decision.
Thanks very much, Vicky. That is our reporter, Vicky Carter, who has herself, nearly fallen for a scam. In the next hour, we're going to hear live from someone who lost a significant amount of money following a particularly elaborate